Hey folks, it's Paul here from ImpulsiveCulinarian.com, and in this video I want to talk to you about my very own dairy-free, gluten-free chocolate chip cookie recipe. So you're watching this video probably because you or someone that you know, someone in your family, has an aversion to dairy and gluten, and it's just wrong, okay? It's wrong if you are not able to enjoy a moist and delicious chocolate chip cookie, regardless if you suffer from celiac disease or any kind of lactose or dairy intolerance. This is important. It has to be part of your culinary arsenal. So I've worked a long time on this recipe. And of course, it's kid approved, it's adult approved. This is a hit no matter when we make them. So we're going to do this together today. First off, we're going to start with the ingredients. Here's what you need. All right, so here's the ingredient list. We're going to split it into two parts. First is the butter mixture. You're going to need a half of a cup of margarine or butter. We use soy-free, dairy-free margarine in all of our recipes, but if you can use something else that you're used to, by all means. A half of a cup of packed brown sugar, then a quarter cup of light or golden cane sugar, or just regular sugar if you can tolerate it, as well as 1 organic egg and 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. So moving on to the second part, the dry ingredients. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need 1/4 cup of corn flour, a quarter cup of millet flour, 1/4 cup of sweet rice flour, 1/4 cup of tapioca flour or tapioca starch, same thing, 1/4 cup of potato starch, and then you're going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of guar or xanthan gum, as well as a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Now, it wouldn't be chocolate chip cookies unless you had a generous cup of your favorite, best quality chocolate chips. And an optional ingredient, we like to put these in depending if you have a nut allergy or not, a half a cup of chopped walnuts or any other kind of nut. All right, let's get into it. Let's make some dairy-free, gluten-free chocolate chip cookies. These are showstoppers. I don't tell people that they are allergen-friendly. I just put them out at the end of a meal or when we have guests over or there's some kind of a birthday party, and they're gone. Like, they're immediately gone. And then it's funny to see non-allergen sufferers say, "Oh, are these gluten-free? Because your daughter's eating them." I'm like, yeah, gluten-free, dairy-free, and wow, this is good. So that's what I hope for you, that you'll make this recipe and you'll just put them out on the table and you won't even have to announce. They're just good for almost everybody. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so the first step, preheat your oven to 375. Then you want to get yourself 2 just regular cookie sheets. These are the standard 10 by 15. Put some parchment paper in the bottom of those. Put your pans aside and go get yourself a big mixing bowl. Okay, so the first thing in your big mixing bowl is going to be your margarine or butter. Half a cup. We use Earth Balance, soy-free, dairy-free margarine in our recipes. Next, you want to get a sturdy spoon and then smush that around until it's nice and soft. Doesn't take a second. Just to use your spoon to make sure that it's nice and soft and ready to receive your sugar. Okay, so I want to take a second to talk to you about the kind of sugars that we use. If you're able to use refined white sugar and regular brown sugar, which we all know is just white sugar with molasses inside, then good for you. What we use, okay, this is a product called Camino. I'm not endorsing Camino. They don't pay me to say that, but I just want to share with you what kind of stuff that we're using. It's fair trade sugar. That's important for us. Even the kids know what fair trade means. It's organic and it's whole brown. It's called muscovado. It's cane sugar. All right, so that's the brown sugar product. The same company has a golden white sugar equivalent that we use, that I include as sort of like a replacement for white sugar in all my recipes. So it's golden cane sugar, also fair trade and organic. Great stuff, amazing flavor, and it's a lot easier on us than any of that refined stuff is. So whatever product that you use, what you want to do is you want to get yourself a half cup of brown and a 1/4 cup of white or golden and get that into your margarine mixture. You often hear people talking about packed brown sugar. Well, that's important. You want to make sure that you get the right amount. So when you're using your half cup measure, get in there, scoop it, and push it down until it's nice and firm. The golden sugar is usually kind of just light. It doesn't really need to be packed down, so you get a 1/4 cup of that into your margarine mixture. Mix that up with your sturdy spoon. I prefer to use a sturdy spoon as opposed to a cake spatula or a whisk, because with brown sugar, sometimes you get those sort of little pieces that are tougher. And what you want to be able to do is squish them down just to make sure that there's no lumps of sugar left in your mixture. So once your margarine and your sugars are all combined and there's no lumps of sugar left, then you want to get yourself an egg, organic egg, and put that into the sugar mixture. While you're at it, get a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract and put it in there as well. Mix it up. Okay, so once your sugar mixture is nice and smooth and there's no more brown sugar lumps in there, get yourself a separate bowl, put all of your dry ingredients in there, and whisk them together so that they're nice and combined. Not the chocolate chips, just the dry ingredients. Coffee break! Okay, so move on to a cake spatula. Take your whisked dry ingredients, minus the chocolate chips, and put them into your sugar and margarine mixture. And go for it. Combine that well. So here's what it looks like while that's coming together. Now, it's obviously not finished, but just wanted to show you sort of halfway there. Now I'm going to finish it up and make sure that it's nice and smooth. All right, once it's all nice and smooth, put in a cup or more of chocolate chips. Oh, chocolatey goodness. Now, today's a particularly warm day, and as you can tell, this is really, really liquidy. It's going to be really hard to make this into nice equal size balls of cookie dough. So when it's like this, you have no choice. You're going to put it in the fridge for a little while just to let it cool down so that it can be manageable. Warm day today, so that means that sometimes this dough is a little finicky. You can put it in the fridge to cool it down just until it becomes a little bit more solid. Then you can really shape it into equal sized balls of cookie dough and put those on your sheet. So refrigerate this until it gets nice and firm. So you have a couple of options available to you. If you're in a rush like I am, I just pop the whole bowl in the freezer for 15 minutes and then it's just firm enough to be able to manage and put on the cookie sheets. Or if you're not in a hurry, you can just cover them up with saran wrap, leave them in the fridge indefinitely. They're not going to freeze or anything like that. And then when you're ready, you can take them out and do what you have to do to put them on your cookie sheets. So there you go. After 15 minutes in the freezer, that's perfect. That's exactly what you need. So I can form those into cookie dough balls and put them on my cookie sheets. So there you go. Now that the cookie dough is nice and firm, I'm going to use my cake spatula and I'm just going to cut it into 12 pieces. Just sort of roughly, and then I'm going to use wet hands to form them into balls and put them on the cookie sheets. So when things get a little sticky, rinse your hands under cold water and start again. Hey, and there you have it. So we've got 12 equally sized cookie dough balls that are going to be ready to put in the oven. Okay, so with all of these equally spaced to allow them enough room to grow, you want to get these into your 375 degree oven for 10 minutes, no more. 10 minutes, center rack, center timer. Had to get rid of the kids to do this video, because as soon as you say, chocolate chip cookies, but don't worry, I promise I'll share them with my kids later. Just around the 9.5 minute mark, there's a smell. There's a definite, these cookies are ready smell. Wait until the very last second, 10 minutes exactly. All right, get them out. Oh, there you go. Freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. Now, when you come out of the oven, they're going to be very, very soft. You cannot handle them at this stage. So let them cool right here in the pan for at least 5-10 minutes, and then you can gently take them out and put them on a cooling rack to cool for as long as possible. When I've left cooling cookies on the counter, there's suspiciously less than I made at the beginning. So let me show you what I mean when these are fresh out of the oven. They're still like super soft. But every minute that goes by, they're actually going to get just a little bit firmer, firm enough to be able to transfer over to your cooling rack. I am not a patient guy. I am impulsive by nature, so I can't wait. It's been 2 minutes. I'm going to put them on the cooling rack. Okay, so shortly after transferring these to the cooling rack, they're pretty much ready to go. But before digging in, I wanted to show you as you know, it's all about the sugars. And the fact that we're using just the right combination of brown sugar versus white or golden sugar, then these cookies come out with a really beautiful color. Just the right kind of color that you'd expect out of a chocolate chip cookie. And the bottoms are just brown but not burnt. And so, of course, to me, this is the sign of a perfect chocolate chip cookie that's moist and delicious. And it's, of course, gluten-free and dairy-free. Well, I can eat this now, please? Fantastic. Now, if you put these in an airtight container, they're going to stay chewy. This is the beauty of this recipe. These are chewy cookies, even the next day or a couple of days later, if they last that long. All right, folks, so there you have it. That's my dairy-free, gluten-free chocolate chip cookie recipe. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Lots more videos to come, and be sure to get in touch with me via social media if you've got any recommendations about things that you'd like me to cook. Always up for a challenge. See you in the next video, guys.